All right, so everyone, welcome to this session where again we'll talk about the key responsibility of management before they could even invite the auditors to come assess their system. So the management of the service organization may ensure the following. First, confirm the accuracy of the service system description. For example, management ensure that the service description correctly reflects the organization actual operation as well as services. Then talking about controls, design controls to meet service obligations. Example, a company might implement firewalls and encryption to meet a commitment to protect customer data, right? Then also need to validate the operation of this control during the audit. Say, for example, in type 2 audit, management demonstrate that controls like data backup protocols are functioning as intended to meet service commitment. It's not just a matter of validating that, but make sure they have to check to make sure it's effective, right? It's working and it's operational. They also need to provide assurance that the system requirements and commitment are met. For example, management ensures that their system consistently delivers the required service levels, such as a 9.99% uptime guarantee, right? Which talk about how they call um, high availability solution. But remember, we talk about assertion. What of, talking about management assertion, what does that really mean? Assertion is a statement or declaration made by management clearing that or claiming that certain facts are true. In the context of service organization, it means that management confirms the accuracy of their system description, the design, the effectiveness of controls, and that the service commitment and system requirement have been met, right? So to make an accurate assertion, what would the management do? First, they have to define service commitments and system requirements. Okay. For example, management identifies the specific service commitment, like ensuring customer data protection, system requirements, such as implementing encryptions as well as access controls. This form the basis for the assertion that the organization meets the commitment, or better still, that particular service. And bear with you, all of these have been documented on your policies. And that's why you have different policies that will be documented and will tell you that, you know what, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are doing that. Because if you don't have that documented on your policy, how do we even know what you got? Right? I hope by now you guys should see the importance of how important GRC is and the fact that it doesn't matter what you do, you will definitely have job, okay? If you at all you know what you're doing and also take the right training. Also, assess risks that will impact these commitments, right? Remember, the first one is to define the form of policy. Once you've defined that, you also need to assess your risks. Remember, we make mention of risk registrar. I have not yet prepared videos. I know I'm holding a lot of videos for you all, risk registrars, and then even the OSR model and so many others. For example, management evaluates potential risks, say, for example, security breaches, system downtime, that could affect their ability to meet these commitments, providing justification for the assertion that they can achieve their goals despite these risks, right? Do you see? So you definitely want to evaluate that and assess their risks. Also, they also want to establish, implement, and also monitor their controls. Management set up security measures like firewalls and multi-factor authentication to meet requirements. The successful operation of these controls is part of the assertion that the system is functioning properly and also securely, right? So again, they are all documented in your policy. When you say you're doing control be implemented, all those things, I will read it on your policy before even going to be testing those. These are like you make those claims that those are things that one can definitely get them from your policy, right? Accurate system description. Do you see how important this thing is? You don't want to tell us about one system, then maybe will come is another system. It doesn't work that way. The system description provided must follow agreed upon standards. This means that the documentation and detail about the system accurately reflect how the system is being delivered. For example, if the organization claims to provide secure data hosting, the system description should clearly explain how the data is encrypted, stored, protected, ensuring transparency as well as accuracy. Do you see? So apparently you want to be very, very transparent. Also, controls are designed to meet the service commitments. This control must be designed to ensure that the service organization meets its service commitment and system requirements per the trust service criteria. This provides confidence that the controls are suitable as well as effective. For example, to ensure data privacy, the organization might implement encryption protocols and access control systems designed to meet their promise of secure data storage. And then control effectively operate, that's type 2 examination. In a type 2 audit, management must confirm that the control exists and are working effectively over time to meet the commitment and system requirements. This proves the system reliability and consistency in maintaining service standards. In a type 2 audit, the organization might demonstrate that its security monitoring system has been actively identifying and mitigating potential security threats over the last year, ensuring its continued availability as well as protection. Management must clearly define identifying services provided. Management will also clearly define the services provided to users' entities. These services establish the subject matter of the audit. This is a big one, especially when you are analyzing SOC 2 Type 2 report. You need to know what kind of service is it. It's very, very important. You're going to be checking, right? And that's why they talk of this service establish the subject or provided to user entities. And it also provide or establish the subject matter of the audit is very important. And when we go there, you guys will see that in real time. For example, if a company provides cloud storage, the services covered in the examination will be related to data security, access management, as well as uptime. Management needs to specify the system used to deliver the identified services. Say a company offering cloud storage might use specific data center, servers, and cloud platform to host the data, right? What of defining system boundaries? Management must outline the boundaries of the system, which specifies what is included and excluded from the examination, right? If the organization operates a customer support platform, the system boundaries will clarify if customer data storage or only customer support activities are being examined. What of evaluating risks from third parties? Management should assess any risks posed by third-party partners that provide intellectual property or services to the organization. If a company uses a third-party vendor to handle data encryption, any risks related to that vendor's security practices must also be considered. You see? So that is straightforward. Then determining the type of examination. So management will also need to determine whether it's a type 1 or type 2 examination. For type 1, examine the system and control at a point in time, as we've discussed, while for type 2, evaluates the system and controls over a defined period. For example, a company with a new data security system might opt for a type 1 examination to confirm the system design, while a company with an established system might prefer a type 2 audit to demonstrate the system's ongoing effectiveness. What of evaluating sub-service organization? If other entities, sub-service organization, are involved in delivering service, when you are assessing the security portion of your vendors, you'll be dealing with your direct vendors, your third party. They will say your sub-service, fourth party, fifth parties, other people that your vendor is outsourcing. So it becomes so interesting when you are analyzing it, because there are times that you ask questions, they will not be able to disclose sub-service organizations, but the SOC 2 is going to tell you. And that's why it's important when you are analyzing the SOC 2 Type 2 report, you really need to take your time to analyze and ask the right questions. If not, vendors will let you. I'm not kidding, right? You see, they'll list those sub-service organizations. Are those sub-service organizations also accessing or collecting your data? If yes, then it becomes so interesting. Now you start requesting SOC 2 report from their sub-service organization, and we will go get there with time. Okay? So if other entities, sub-service organizations are involved in delivering services, management must determine if these entities are part of the examination and how they should be addressed. Inclusive or keep out method. And very soon, our next slide, we're going to talk more on that. For example, if a third-party cloud provider is involved in the service delivery, management must decide whether to include this provider in a SOC 2 report using the inclusive method, which integrate the sub-service into their report. You include them, right? And then defining service committee. Management needs to specify the commitment made to user entity regarding service delivery. A service organization might commit to ensuring 99.99% uptime for a cloud-based application. Establishing system requirements. The system must meet certain requirements to fulfill the service commitment. These requirements can relate to performance, security, or availability. The organization might implement load balancing and backup system to meet the uptime commitment. What of to business partners? Management must outline the system requirements related to commitment made to business partners. These are just like they are straightforward. That's what I'm reading, right? If the organization share confidential data with partners, they might implement encryption to meet confidentiality commitment. What of assessing the risks? Management must also evaluate the risks that could prevent the organization from achieving its services or service commitment and system requirement. Risks such as cyber attacks, system failures, or human error must be assessed to ensure the company commitment are not jeopardized. Then talking of controls, designing and implementation, management is responsible for developing, implementing, as well as common to mitigate, identify risks, and to meet commitment. To address the risks of unauthorized access, the company might implement multi-factor authentication for all users accessing sensitive data. Documenting control effectiveness. For a type 2 examination, management must demonstrate that the controls are designed and operating effectively over a period of time. We covered that already. In a type 2 examination, the organization will show that its security monitoring tools have successfully detected and mitigated security threats throughout the review period. What of incident management? Of course, we are touching everything. Remember, we're talking about the management responsibility will be like everything that we've covered so far. Management must check or track and document any known incident that resulted from controls that were not properly designed or failed to operate effectively, significant failures in meeting service commitments as well as system requirements. If a data breach occurred due to a vulnerability in the authentication system, management must document this incident and address how it impacted their security commitment. So before fulfilling this responsibility, management may need to seek clarification from the service auditor on various matters. For example, they may ask questions such as whether a specific process should be included in the system being audited. It's very, very normal to clarify your doubt before you even engage it. Whether a vendor qualifies as a sub-service organization, this your vendor, that you can also ask that. How do you determine which method, could it be inclusive or keep out method, should be used for presenting information about sub-service organization? These are all questions or clarification that management can ask from service organization or auditors. And with that being said, the next slide, we will talk about inclusive versus keep out methods. I hope so far you all have enjoyed the video up to this point. Again, what some of my students do is pause it, take their time, watch it over and over again, do research, make sure you understand the concept very well. It's not just a matter of watching, it's a matter of, do I even understand what this woman is trying to pass out, right? So make sure you like, subscribe, and share videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you all.